Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another instant deck tech. So today we're heading to Modern to check out a deck that's taking advantage of a sweet new mythic from Eldritch Moon in Grim Flayer. This is Jund Delirium. Recently took Austin Hoth to a top 8 finish at a SCG Modern IQ, so congrats to Austin on his finish with the deck. A quick reminder before we break down Jund Delirium, if you enjoy this deck and want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Jund Delirium is built around Grim Flayer. Well, like most Jund decks in Modern, it's built around Tarmogoyf, which gets super huge when the graveyard is full of stuff, but it gets Grim Flayer as a kind of second Tarmogoyf. If you can turn this on turn 2 or turn 3, you got a 4/4 for only 2 mana that's also like pseudo-scrying by letting you manipulate the top of your deck when it deals combat damage, and it has trample. So that's kind of the payoff card for being Delirium, along with Traverse the Uvenwald. So the way this deck actually wins the game is you get Delirium, and we'll talk more about that in a couple minutes, how you actually turn on Delirium in this deck. You play your Goyfs, you play your Grim Flayers, and then you just traverse the Uvenwald, get another Goyf, get another Grim Flayer, and eventually you just have this huge board of really efficient, cheap threats that's pressuring your opponent immensely and hopefully going to get their life total down to 0. Since you're playing Traverse and have the ability to turn it on, you also get some sweet tutor target creatures. So you get Scavenging Ooze to deal with graveyards, also gets pretty big. Courser of Krufix, a little bit of life gain, keeps you from flooding out. Kalidas Trader of Get is another powerful life linking threat, can really lock down the ground. And a couple of Bedlam Revelers, which is a great tutor target if you're empty-handed. You're filling your graveyard with this deck anyway with cheap instants and sorceries. So on turn 4, turn 5, there's a realistic chance Bedlam Reveler is going to be 2 mana. So if your last card in your hand is Traverse the Uvenwald, you just get a big body with prowess on the battlefield, and you get to draw 3 cards. So a lot of value there. Plus, both Grim Flayer and Bedlam Reveler, as we've been talking about, help you turn on Delirium by getting cards into your graveyard. Grim Flayer from your library, Bedlam Reveler from your hand. So how does the deck actually go about getting Delirium? Well, it's actually got a ton of ways. So Mishra's Bauble, 0 mana, artifact, you sack it, you get to draw a card. It doesn't do much, but it's an artifact you can get in your graveyard for 0 mana, so that's one type for Delirium. And then you got Tarfire, which is a tribal instant, and tribal is a type, so it's another type you can get in your graveyard. Actually, kind of like Hangerback Walker in Standard, that's an artifact and a creature. Tarfire is a tribal and an instant, so you get 2 card types for only 1 card, which is a nice bonus. And then for sorceries, you get Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes like most Jund decks. You get to cast these on turn 1, get the sorcery in your graveyard, take a removal spell or a combo piece from your opponent's hand. Maelstrom Pulse, another removal spell, also a sorcery, and then a bunch of instants. You get the 4 Lightning Bolts, Abrupt Decays and Terminates as removal, and Kolaghan's Command is super sweet because there's just so much value there. It can kill something, can get rid of an artifact, or it can get back a creature that has been put in your graveyard as you're kind of milling yourself with Grim Flayer and discarding things to Bedlam Reveler, so you can get back your Tarmogoyfs and your Grim Flayers and your Bedlam Revelers in the late game with Kolaghan's Command. And then, of course, last but not least, the mana base, super easy to get a land in your graveyard in Modern thanks to the fetch lands, which can fetch up a bunch of shock lands, can fetch up some basic lands. Otherwise, you get a few creature lands in Raging Ravine and some Black Cleave Cliffs for more untapped black or red mana, let you cast your Bolt or your Thoughtseize on turn 1. In the sideboard, you get some more removal, Grim Lavamancer, Anger of the Gods, good against aggressive creatures, decks that are going wide. Kolaghan's Command, like we were saying, does a ton. Pulse of Marasa and Kitchen Finks are nice against aggro, gains you a bit of life. Ancient Grudge and Destructive Reverie for affinity. Decks that have a lot of artifacts or enchantments. Spellskite, Burn, Infect, Grafdigger's Cage. Dredge is becoming one of the most played decks in Modern. Don't play Modern without some graveyard hate in your sideboard. Also picks up on Nahiri. Crumble for Tron. Slaughter Games for Scape Shifts. Decks that are built around one key card to combo off and win the game. And then a Thrun-the-Last Troll for control decks. So that is Jund Delirium in Modern. The deck looks super sweet. Anyway, that's been our Instant Deck Tech for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.